What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the beer crew.
Yeah. Welcome to the beer family, baby. Shit.
Yeah, man.
I think we ain't had no hair, man. Yeah. You see, I got my comb. I'm always coming.
Ready to go.
I'm always coming.
Ready to fluff it out.
Yeah, man.
How long
So
you
how
had
been, man?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just you know, living in this COVID world, you know.
Man, getting COVID. I got my shot.
You one or two in?
I got the
You got the J&J one.
Johnson, yeah. And the funny thing is, I got mine the day before they found out and they shut it down.
You were scared.
So I'm like,
you were scared, weren't you?
You know what I mean? Do I need to be worried? And then it was like, all right, it was all females. Okay. And then they were all taking like hormone pills, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So, all right. So now I can ease off a little bit, you know what I mean? Relax.
Knock on wood. So far, so good.
Right. I mean, my last name was, so I should be good, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep telling people, yo, knock on wood. I'm here. I'm already good. Maybe. Go ahead. I'll let you, you know what I'm saying? So,
that's funny.
Man.
Yeah, I got my second one. So I'm, you know, hopefully we're on our way. You know, I'm ready to take a trip or do something.
Right.
I've been locked down for too long. Yeah, man, I've been here too long.
This lockdown is horrible, man.
Yeah. But I don't know about you. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm by myself. So, like, unless I like occasionally get a friend to like hang out with down here, like that wants to take the shot. Now, like people are doing some stuff a little bit more now. But for the last year, like it was just me in here.
No comment.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I know what you mean because it was just work and then home. I
was looking at your video that you had last posted. Yeah, I was bumping Soul for Real earlier today too.
Yeah.
I was doing Candy Rain. You had every little thing you do. I was doing Candy Rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Max,
I'm jamming every day, man.
Max,
every day
what's so funny, and you know, this is the cool thing about the podcast. It's like it gives me a chance to like catch up and talk to people from high school. But the funny thing is that I purely know you from post high school Facebook stuff, right? We have like I see your videos. We have some mutual friends that didn't go to Wissahickon.
Right.
But outside of that, like when I look at your yearbook, you're one of the people that I look at the yearbook and I go, he was in our class? Where was he? Was he like I look around and go, was he only there for like half the semester? Did he leave? Like he was there? And it's like, yeah. And I go, first of all, you look like a grown man in your picture.
Yeah.
So I was just like, was he the teacher?
That's what it was.
What class did he teach?
Substitute teacher.
Oh, you know, we had Mr. Wood for Spanish class, substitute.
Right. Spanish, Latin.
So I'm super curious, you know, to kind of hear about like you and Wissahickon and where the fuck was I when you were around? Because I just don't. Maybe you were just like in the crew and in the cruise, and I saw you and I just didn't. You know, were you quiet or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, I can't say I was quiet, because I left North Penn.
So you started at North Penn.
Yeah, I was in the North Penn district for a long time. Like I went to General Nash. I was there for like kindergarten on to, I believe, 3rd grade. But in the middle of that, I lived in Norristown with my mom. So I went to school over there. You know, it was just bouncing back and forth because, you know, with my mom and her situation at that time, you know, with like working like a second shift job, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. So it was just like, there was a period of time to where the only time I saw my mom was like either at night or during the day when she was either dropping me off or picking me up.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And that was like maybe a year and a half, 2 years or so, something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I left here, I want to say 99. And then I finished out in Norristown. And I fell in that attitude of like, I don't give a shit. Fuck school, fuck all that. because like I said, I had the mentality. I was set up here in North Penn. Like, you know, I had the spot on the football team, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm making my way. And then we moved. So, you know, I was just like, don't give a shit about anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're in so you moved in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was 99 or after 99 when you moved.
Yeah, around 99, I want to say.
So 11th grade. So you came in 11th grade.
So I was there my last 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I finished out in Norristown from North Penn my sophomore year. And then 11 and 12th, I was there. I almost got held back, though. Because like I said, when I went to Norristown, like, I ain't give a shit, man.
Yeah.
I went to school, but I ain't do the work.
And you think that was specifically because like you had been pulled out of North Penn, like where you kind of like had your whole life, and now you're starting over and you're just like, I'm out on that. You just check out on that.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, like I said, you know, to have high school coaches come see you at your junior high, you know what I mean, and checking you out. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I ain't even go to summer camp and still wind up getting a spot on the North Penn football team. And I mean, that's to me, that says a lot. If you you don't go to a boot camp, you don't do none of the training, you know what I mean?
They're not looking out for you.
Right. Everybody bust their ass over the summer, and I just come in out of nowhere, and I make
Who's that guy?
Right. I dress up they already knew who I was, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like all three junior highs, they knew who I was. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was it was, you know, like an enclosed ball, you know what I mean? So it was just like I was bouncing all over the place. You know what I mean?
I've talked to a few students that had come to Wissahickon from out of state in high school, like, you know, 9, 10, 11th grade. And that was really hard for them. And they just kind of like got through it, got along, did what they could do. And then like, as soon as they left, they really had no attachment. But I haven't really talked to anyone that actually came from like such a neighboring school at that late of an age. Going from, now you only did Norristown for a year, but I don't know anything about Norristown either, but I know North Penn is huge. So what's the difference going from North Penn to Norristown to Wissahickon, where, you know, it's 300 some kids? You probably didn't even know, like, you probably only knew like 20 people in North. You probably knew your football team at North Penn, and the rest of the kids were just background noise, right?
No, I knew a lot in North Penn. Like, so even when I went to, well, when we first went 10th grade, I knew a lot of seniors and juniors. So like it was more of like I got held back in the early grade. So the 11th graders and juniors, I knew them because, you know what I mean? It was more, you
came up with them.
You're right. That kind of deal, you know what I mean? So it was just like, all right. But like the seniors, it was more of knowing from the street, growing up, you know, stuff like that. They were just maybe a year or two older kids, but still like my age group, you know what I mean? And let me see, I would say I knew a little over 60% of the North Penn.
Wow, that's rare. Did you grow up were you in Lansdale when you were in North Penn? Or were you North Wales?
I lived in Hatfield.
Hatfield, okay.
Yeah, I lived in Hatfield. But at the same time, like I said, when I went to General Nash, which is over in Harleysville, so like I said, I knew people in Harleysville. I know people from, like I'm kind of like a Montgomery County person. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers know me. It's cool, but at that same time, it's just like, oh man.
That makes so much more sense because a lot of those mutual friends that we have that just go, how does he know? And everyone's always saying, wait, how do you guys know each other? It's a lot of North Penn people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how do you, what facilitates that you know so many people? Were you just out and about in the area? Were you like, what were you doing as a kid in that like Lansdale or that Hatfield area?
Just roaming, man. You know, like I'm not gonna lie, when I first moved to Hatfield, I had some issues, you know what I mean? Like the color barrier thing. Because we moved to Hatfield when I was 9. No, I think I was about 8 when we moved over here. And only black kid on the block. You know what I mean? Only black kid, honestly, in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So not just my block. You know, if you go further over this way, still all white. You go further around, you know. So I was searching. I saw some at the elementary school, but it's like, all right, yo, where you live at? You know what I mean? Like, where are you from? Where you live at? You know what I mean? Because I'm looking, and I finally found two. There was two brothers. They were maybe a year older than me, and but they lived in a different area, so it wasn't like we connected every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I think the friendship started to come out when you either riding a bike or you play like something in the street, you know, kickball or whatever you play in the street, or even football games. Because that's where I really picked up. You know what I mean? They were just like, yo, you play football? Yeah, I play a little bit. You know what I mean? So
You
I'm
just
coming
playing
from
pickup?
Northtown as a kid. We used to play in the street. We didn't have no grass. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just straight out in the street or in a big ass church parking lot. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they were like, yeah, we're going over here and playing such and such by the tower. And I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll go. Then I'm like, damn, y'all got grass? It was like, yeah, you ain't never playing on the grass? No, the only grasses that we had was off of an alleyway. You can't play in there because it's broken fucking glass, you know what I mean? Needles and shit. Like, nah. Nope. We played in the street. You see all these stars? Yeah, that's what happened. It was like, yeah, you just gotta worry about dog shit. Nah, I'm cool then.
Yeah,
So,
we used to we had one patch. I grew up in South Ambler, down by the McDonald's down in that area. So we had like one patch. It was called the IMS, and we would all go and play there. It was just on this corner where like the bus stop was, and so in the mornings or after school, that's where we would all go and play any sport. But it was just a real thin layer of grass, and then there would be a big tree stump that was right in the middle that they had cut down years ago. And so there's just this big stump. So you're just trying to not get tackled on the stump all the time. Either the stump or the cement sewer way. Like one of those two things.
Was that on the same road as the post office?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the big building. And yeah, okay. So you know.
Oh shit. Damn. Shit. Yeah,
everyone knows that stump.
I mean, I forgot who asked me. They was like, yo, we about to go down. I'm like, and I'm over there. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. It'll be my luck. I might hit that shit myself. Or I might trip over. I'm good.
I was not tough like that. I like, I'll play some two-hand touch, but I was afraid to get tackled. You know, I was like a smaller kid growing up and not as aggressive. So I wasn't into it. And a lot of kids that I grew up with were playing football, like, you know, intramural or whatever, playing like little league football. I didn't even know where that existed. Like I played baseball and basketball, but I didn't know where, you know, you went to play football. But did you play, you liked football, but did you play football as like a kid before middle school?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did the little league and all that. I played in Norristown. Didn't fully get to play there because we moved. But I was going to play for the Bengals. They play out of I think Stewart, which is off of 202. Okay. And yeah, I played when we lived in Sharon Hill. Like I said, between that kindergarten and second grade period. I don't know the name of that fucking team, but yeah, they were all right. I had got my I had like my first or second fight when I lived in Sharon Hill. And I fought this kid. He was 2 years older than me. And he had at least 10, 15 pounds on him. So I beat him up. And then his sister came, started beating me up. Yeah. Like his sister came, started beating me up, and she kicked me. And she kicked me in my dick. And I was like, oh, and I dropped. So this girl from my block, you know, she a beast. She came up, was like, yo, that's my neighbor. And she turned around. So I'm still on the ground, like looking up, like, whack. I was like, oh, and she fell right in front of me. And I'm watching her getting her ass whipped. Like, yeah. Wow. I don't know how old the girl was. I can't remember, but I know for sure if you figure I was in second grade, she had to be at least in 5th or 6th grade.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, she whooped her ass, and then she picked me up, took me home, like, threw me over her shoulder. Like I said, she was a monster.
Wow.
Yeah, she whooped that girl's ass, man. I was like, oh, shit. My tears went away real quick after I saw her get punched like 3 times in the face. I was like, this is awesome, but my balls still hurt. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, I got a lot of motherfucking stories, man. I done seen some shit, did some shit I'm not allowed to talk about, but yeah, you know.
What's the statute of limitations?
Yeah, you know, certain shit like that. But other than that, man, now it's just like, you know, even when we did that move, there was a period of time where I had a lot of hatred towards my mom.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I said, when we went to Norristown, like I had the fucking mentality, like I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? That was bad. Like I didn't give a fuck, but she was like, you know, oh, we're about to go, you know, do this and do that. I was like, I'm cool. Oh, well, you know, we're gonna be doing this family thing, you know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, yo. I'm going out.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What are you doing then? Because at that point you're just about 16, right? You're 15, 16 at that point. Or you're probably a year older, so you're 16, 17 probably.
Yeah, I was about 17.
Yeah. So were you driving and all that?
No, I wasn't driving.
As a teenager, then what are you doing for fun? You know, you went from like playing in the streets and you know, finding some kids and adapting like that. But now you're a teenager. What are you doing? What kind of a kid are you then?
Same dude I am now, really. You know what I mean? Funny.
Yeah.
Smiles on people's
singing
faces.
songs.
I like to keep a positive environment, you know what I mean? Because if there's a twitch in the environment, there's a little negativity, then we can spot it. You know what I mean? Then if need be, handle it, get it over and done with. If it's still a problem, then the negativity got to go.
Okay.
But like I said, I you know, just growing up and seeing like certain shit and taking heed to it, just like, why is it that way? Or why do they got to think of that? Why does that person got to look that way to that person? You know what I mean? So it's just like.
You mean as far as race? You're talking
everything.
Race or?
All of it. You know what I mean? Race, sexism, everything. Everything that's going on nowadays that went on even back then 400 or 500 years ago. You know what I mean?
You were paying attention to it then as a teenager?
Yeah. Even as a young kid, like I said, when I moved to Hatfield, I had issues. You know what I mean? And I even had issues with the cops. Like they would follow me on my bicycle, asking me where I'm going. Yo, where you going, boy? I know he ain't talking to me. I keep going. I'm on the sidewalk, so ain't no need for you to be bugging and bothering me. You know what I'm saying? I'm minding my own business, riding a bicycle, 7 years old, 8 years old. What you need to follow me and ask me questions for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there was plenty of times, like I've had a few of my white friends come to defense and be like real offensive about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, why you know, just because of his color, why? Was because he's black? Are you a fucking racist? You know, like they go off. So it's just like, damn. Now, if I'd have done that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Or like, whoa, calm down.
Yeah.
I can give you a situation. It was New Year's, and my mother bought me it was in the shape of a wine bottle, and it was a big one, but it was grape juice, you know, just like Welch's grape juice.
Yeah.
And he had this like big ass red plastic horn, you know, that made that
yeah
go into it. And I was holding it, and we were going across the street, and this fucking cop just came out of nowhere and like all action.
Wow.
In the car, and he pointed a gun at me and shit. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is going on? He's like, and then he kept looking. I'm like, yo, this is a bullhorn or whatever the hell I was like, yo, what do you call this thing, man? I was like, yo, put your fucking gun down, dog. So then my bull jumped right in front of me, and he's like, yo, man, what the fuck is you fucking racist asshole? Like he went off. And meanwhile, he still has the gun pointed at me.
Yeah.
So that's why he jumped in front. I'm like, yo, like, so he turns around and grabs it. and he threw it on the ground. He was like, would a rifle make that sound? Is that
Right.
what you think it is? He's like, asshole, it's fucking red. It was a red plastic ball. So, and not only that, we're under a street light when you stopped, when we were crossing the street. So it's just like, how would you, and you got your lights on us? How could you not tell what I had in my hand, man?
Right.
Come on. And I just finished blowing on it too.
So when that's happening in your neighborhood, are you doing anything, or is anything happening as years go by to quell that? Are you just learning that this is just a way of life and you just have to try and avoid it? Like, does it get better before you leave? Or does Hatfield stay pretty tense from a racial standpoint?
I think it's still the same. I don't think it's as much as it was before. But like I said, I've had scenarios with cops everywhere I lived at. Hatfield, Norristown, you know what I mean? Like even down in the city. I lived down in Philly, and that was my adult life. That was a whole different kind of experience. And I lived down in the Badland area, you know what I mean? So that's just like,
you gotta be more specific.
You
gotta be more specific. Philly's got a lot of Badlands.
Well, no, this is literally called the Badlands.
Oh, it's called the Badlands. Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's North Philly.
Okay.
Like you know where Broad and Lehigh is?
Yeah.
If you take that Broad and Lehigh, you got the Sunoco. If you go down this way, the lower numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm down that way.
Towards Kensington.
Like
I used to live
like
I used to live on Almond Street in Port Richmond. So that's if you just take Almond Street or Aramingo is parallel. If you just take that like a few blocks, you end up on Lehigh.
Yep. Aramingo. Adult life down there was a whole lot different, man. I spent 14 years in that bitch, man.
Wow.
Oh, I've seen a lot. Some fucked up shit too, man.
Yeah, I did my senior year of high school, or my senior year of college. I lived down there.
Okay, so you went to Temple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stay on the site.
That's what I tell people. I say Temple's. I say Temple's got a campus, but there's a lot of stuff at Temple that's not on campus, and you need to be super aware that you are not on campus.
Right.
You're just near campus.
And then you get them real dumb motherfuckers that be like, "Oh, whoa, well, let's go check this out."
As soon as as soon as you're at 15th and Cecil B, it is a wrap. It is over.
Been down there a couple times, boy.
So then what ends up bringing you into Wissahickon then in 11th grade?
Me and my mom moved from Norristown. Didn't work out, whatever was going on with her boyfriend at the time, you know what I mean? And we wound up moving in with my grandfather.
Oh.
And cause my mom went to Ambler. Well, she went to Wissahickon when it was called Ambler High.
Ambler High, right. Oh wow, okay.
And my mom went there, her sister, her brother, a couple people that I know, their parents went to school there as well. So like a few people, actually a lot of people from like West Ambler, even over in South Ambler and everything.
Yeah.
Like there's people, old heads and everything, they went there. My grandfather, he went there.
Wow.
So it's just like, yeah.
Tell me about coming to Wissahickon then. Do you remember then stepping foot into Wissahickon for, the first, maybe not the first time, but just generally like, coming to a much smaller school? Do you remember do you remember like what your feeling was or who you started gravitating towards, or did anyone reach out, or was it, were you wandering for a while? It's a very, I find Wissahickon to be somewhat of a cliquey school because we all grew up with each other.
Right.
The majority of us went to elementary school with a lot of the rest of us. We have 5 elementary schools. We've all known a certain percentage of us for our entire school year. Yeah. So
Right.
when other people come in, it could be tough sometimes to navigate. And I think a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
just like the jail thing. You know what I mean? Got the mirror hanging out like, who the fuck is this?
and much like I have no experience, but as with everything in my life, it relates
Right.
to a movie, right? There's always the guy in prison that always, hey man, come sit with us. You with us now? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, come on, you come in our
Yes.
block. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did that happen for you? Did you get pulled into a group? Did you find yourself socially getting along with anyone?
Well, I already knew a few people that was already there, you know, prior to like church or
You
you
play
know,
against them in
maybe
football?
well not really the football, more of like a kind of like a neighborhood kind of thing, like you know, like if my cousins know their cousins, you know, shit like that. So it's just like somehow we're affiliated and we know each other, you know what I mean?
Black shit.
And, yeah. But other than that,
Yeah, I know. Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes
But
it
other,
is just like that. No, my
you know, but
man's
other
my
than that,
man's knew him.
and my other boy, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we might be cousins, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was, you know, like Billy and Earl, like the Stouts.
Yeah.
I knew them, you know, as kids wise, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like there was a few others, but I would say out of anybody in Wissahickon, I would say those two were probably the ones that I've, you know, known more besides Tuesday Lucas.
Oh yeah.
You know, I knew her since we were yay high. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I grew up with all of them. You know what I mean? And you know, that's kind of like family. So, but yeah, I guess it was more of like falling in, you know, here and here and here. You know, so I'm like a kind of like a rotation in between. And then I think it was more of just, you know, like it came to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, my mom always told me, like, you know, you're a person to where people come to you. You know what I mean? Like you'll go to people, but people seem to flock to you because of, I guess, how you are, your aura or whatever the fuck she wants to call it. You know what I mean? Like the vibe that you give off, you know what I mean, seems like it's not, you know, scarce. You know what I mean? Like somebody scared to come up to me and shit. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, it did happen that way. You know what I mean? The same way with Norristown, like I reunited with some people and some guys and girls that I remember from like first grade and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was also still a little different because there was like still somewhat enemies and shit. And it's like, damn dog, that shit was like elementary school, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let it go. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was more of, you know, like a coming about. Like, oh hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? People came up to you, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Oh,
Okay.
what school you from? Which one? And they like, oh, what do you mean which one? Well, I was at North Penn and then I went to Norristown. Now I'm here within 2 years. They're like, shit, how does that work? I was like, I don't know. Fuck me all up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I left North Penn and went to when I went to Norristown, they had me in like senior honor roll classes.
Wow.
I was a 10th grader. Like I'm in 10th grade. How the hell am I in senior honor roll classes right now? Like I don't know none of the shit they were doing. What kind of math is this? Like what the? There was some weird shit. And I'm like, I don't think I belong in here. I was like, oh, what you son says? I was like, yo, I'm in 10th grade. I was like, I just asked this person, this person, this person. And they said they are seniors. I was like, what about you? And boy was like, I'm a senior. And they were all like real nerdy looking. And I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck did I get in this class, yo?
They just put you in whatever class had room.
I don't know if they looked at it to the fact of academic wise, I'm coming from North Penn. You know what I mean? I don't know if they might have looked at it that way, like, oh, well, if he comes from North Penn, you know, this very intelligent kid, this and that and third. Okay, yeah, I got intelligence, but you just threw me in anywhere. Like, you threw me in the lion's den. You know what I mean?
Different
With
level.
this pocket knife, man. Like, I'm going to die. You know what I mean? But a lady that went to our church, she was a guidance counselor there, and she took me in, straightened everything out, had me in the right shit that I needed. You know what I mean? So, but I still didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Because we moved.
Right.
Like I ain't fucking move. I ran out of the crib.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I went to my boy's crib.
Okay.
I was like,
This is when you were in Norristown.
Well, before we went to Norristown.
Okay.
Because when I found out we were moving, because I didn't even tell nobody at North Penn. I told him at the end of the day, I was like, yo, I'm moving. They was like, damn, yo, when you moving? Today. What the fuck? Why you gonna tell us now? Why would I not tell you now? Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to tell you early ahead of time and the shit's dwelling over, you know what I mean? Like, it was already bad enough, that I'm moving. So,
So you really, I mean, it's interesting because, you talk about kind of the situations that you had living there in Harleysville, but you were really upset to be leaving the area and going to Norristown.
Oh, hell yeah. Because like I said, I looked at it as with that athleticism, I was set.
Yeah.
And then not only that, you're looking at it like North Penn has their name out there in the United States. That's how I looked at it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're really affiliated with Penn State. You know what I mean? So I'm looking ahead like I already see where I'm going.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was ready.
So you wanted to play football and go to Penn State. That's what you.
Well, it wasn't really just that. It was just the fact of I already seen a road that I wanted to be on, but then once we moved, it was just like, okay, you took me off that road. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, if I move to Norristown, we move to Norristown. I'm not guaranteed a spot on the football squad. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But the goal was for you. The goal was to play football and then use that to get into college. That was your.
I mean, that wasn't really my goal. It was just the fact of I seen it as something that could have been. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do football. I'm gonna rock out with it and see what it's in for. I mean, yeah, I would have took it if it was given. You know what I mean? But I mean, football, I wasn't really relying on the fact of trying to do the football thing and get a full scholarship. It was just the fact of I love to play football, and this is one of the fucking best schools in the goddamn country. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that. But at the same time, like I said, there was academic wise, things that I like to do. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the football thing was just like a plus.
What
like
for
I
you?
said, due to their name, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're out there. What for you academically then? Were you, before you came to Wissahickon, what were you, did you think that maybe you said you had interest in different stuff? Was it math? Was it science, history? Was there...
like, a little bit of marketing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Do some business, like something with money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What,
I'm pretty good with money.
What influenced you for that? To say that you wanted to do something with marketing or just wanted to work with money? What were you seeing around in your life? Or
well, my uncle, as far as I know, growing up, I know he was like an engineer or something.
Yeah.
But he was like engineering in the pharmaceutical side.
Okay.
And like growing up, he had it. So it was just like, when it came to like Christmas, his birthday, he's one of them dudes you're not sure what to get him because he had it. You know what I mean? So it was just more of, get him a card or some money, you know what I mean? Shit like that. But, looking and watching him, it was just like, all right, that's some big ass shoes to fill. Because like I said, my mom, she did the second shift thing. So there was times I wasn't seeing her. That's who I was living with. I was living with my uncle and my grandmother.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and then like I said, looking at him and watching him was just like, shit. Like we lived in Harleysville condominiums.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it was just like, shit. Yeah, I know it's expensive to live in here. It's condominiums.
Yeah.
It's Harleysville, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I want to be in that kind of level, you know what I mean? Where I got the things that I want or need, and I'm not struggling.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's just like, as of right now, it's like, I'm doing okay, but I'm struggling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, it's hard to try and keep a straight face, especially when you're around your child, knowing that you really can't buy her shit because you ain't really got that much money. Even though she got her own bank account, because I know she got a bank account because it comes out of my check. Shit, you know what I mean?
It's for the future, right? That's for down the road.
I tell her that all the time, man. I'm like, yo, you got money. She be like, I know. I'm like, yeah, I know, you know. We all know. Shit. She'll be 13 this year, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said.
When you were moving, you know, from Harleysville to Norristown and now to Ambler, where was your dad?
My dad passed when I was 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's what really kind of like, not reconnected, but connected me and this one of these white boys I really grew up with. He's German and Irish. He hates the shit out of Nazis. I mean,
that's a good thing. That's a great thing.
There was a couple times I had to stop him from, like, you know, going in on the skinhead dude and shit. And I'm like, yo, don't even worry about it. No, fuck that. I'm gonna worry about it. Nah, man, it's cool. No need. Let him be. But his dad passed, I believe, a year before mine did. And, you know, I like that brought us even closer. You know what I mean? Shit like that, which was good.
Were you a drinker in school? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, I didn't party. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. None of my friends did either. It wasn't anything that I was ever around with kids. My parents did. Yeah. My parents drank. My dad drank. My dad smoked. All my friends' parents drank, but it just wasn't anything that socially I was ever around. Wouldn't even know how to do, wouldn't even know how to get it, how to do it. I didn't know the terminologies. Like, people were talking about nick bags and dime bags. I didn't know what that shit was, you know? So anything that didn't come out of like a Biggie lyric, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
Right. Damn. Shit. Yeah. I think first time I had a beer, I think I was like 5, 6.
Whoa.
Yeah. But I mean, I took it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I went in the refrigerator and grabbed it. You know what I mean? The guy left the motherfucker on, because me and this dude was playing. Me and this kid was playing Nintendo, and you know, at the time, my mom's boyfriend, you know, they had a couple people over or whatever, and you know, one kid was playing the game Nintendo, and the guys, they came down the basement, and the guy had put down his beer, and remember, was it Miller High Life? They had them little mini Johns, mini glass. They were like
ponies.
Yeah, small boys. So he put it down. I was, you know, playing a game. It was like one of these, like.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, "What does it taste like? What's it taste like?" A bad soda.
Yeah, I was gonna say bad soda.
Bad soda. But I drank the rest of the shit though. You know what I mean? And the guy came back and he was just like, picks it up and he's like, damn, hey John, did I drink this shit? And he was like, what? I don't know. So, you know what I mean? I'm trying to play the game. I'm like holding on to the burp and he's like, and he was like, oh, never mind, I found it. I was like, it's bad soda.
Oh.
Yeah, man, you know.
When you came to Wissahickon then, you already know some people, you're kind of being brought into crews. Was your crew diverse? One of the things that I always, you know, remember about Wissahickon was a lot of cliques, and I felt the cliques were separated by race. You know, I felt like we were very self-segregated. And, you know, my vision is always you'd have the group of white kids over here. You'd have the group of black kids over here. You'd have the Asian crew over on this side. And I didn't see a lot of integration. What I've come to learn, I think, a little bit is, you know, there definitely was a lot of that, and people definitely stuck to, you know, those like them. But I feel like most of the integration came through sports for a lot of people. You know, the more they did with sports, people have shared a lot of times like that where they got to know other people and had more social interactions coming out of that. For you, was coming into Wissahickon, were you in the black crew? Did you have friends that were white? Was it coming through sports because you were doing football?
Yeah. It was more of a all around. Like I've kind of clung to all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sports, even people that didn't do sports. Yeah, I guess I would say, I mean, shit, I was cool with, you know, some of the people that did band and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I might not remember their name, but I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you. You know, they'd be like, yo, Max, what's going on? I'm like, oh, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Like, I'm bad with names. I don't remember a face. I'm like, oh shit. Hey, man, I ain't seen him do it in a minute, man. I forgot his name, though.
A man with the trombone.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say sports helped in, like I said, having that aura of, you know, because, I mean, knowing this one guy on the football team and he has a girlfriend, and then the girlfriend has a friend. So it's just like, all right, I meet that. Then I meet that friend and that friend and that friend. And then I become cool with all that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, I guess more of giving off that vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the vibe, and they vibed with it.
Where were you living when you got to Ambler and your grandfather's? Where were you living? Were you in Ambler?
Yeah, I was on Redwood Avenue.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so we were like across the street from each other. Although by that point I was already on Bethlehem Pike. I had moved out of South Ambler, so I was up in, I don't know what part of Ambler you could call that, but the other part. North.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to call that part.
That's Northwest. I was in Northwest Ambler.
Which
would be like not far from the school, you know.
Oh, okay, I got you. Oh, okay, yeah. Like around the corner kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like on Hendrick. I was like off of Hendrick Street.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I used to pass that shit all the time. I used to fly past that all the time.
Yeah, everyone did.
I used to fly all over Ambler, yo. Everywhere in Ambler. Like, even when I left Ambler, they'd be like, yo, where you going? You gonna go chill with some white girls, ain't you?
Were you?
You better go get that tea from them white boys. Yeah, we know you be chilling with them white boys, man. I'm like, yeah, so what? There's white boys out here too. So yeah, but not like boys up there, but you be chilling that. So
they've said that about Wissahickon.
Yeah. I mean, like, Wissahickon was cool though. You know what I mean? It was cool. There were some funny people in there. But I mean, other than that, like, I looked at it like at Wissahickon, a lot of people stayed to themselves if they wasn't really fucking with nobody. You know what I mean? And that's how I was at first when I came there. It was just like, I'm gonna stay to myself. I'm gonna feel it out first before I put myself out there. You know what I mean? And right off the bat, it was just like talking to the football coach. This motherfucker gave me this little fucking beautiful lecture and shit. It's just like, yeah, sure, I'll play. Fuck it. Because I wasn't gonna play. I heard about them and I was like, ain't no fucking way I'm making it anywhere off this fucking team. You kidding me? These motherfuckers ain't won since 96? What the fuck? Ain't no way. Ain't no motherfucking way, man.
So that was the reputation.
Yeah, whoa. Man. I'm gonna keep it real. I never even heard of Wissahickon, yo.
Really? Even coming from North Penn?
Yeah. Because we never, I don't think Wissahickon was in our division at all.
Okay.
Because I don't recall. I mean, you know, we played Norristown and shit. But like I said, I've never heard of Wissahickon. Like, my mom was like, yeah, we're moving to Ambler, you're going to go to Wissahickon. I was like, what the fuck is a Wissahickon? She's like, well, it used to be Ambler High. I was like, why didn't they just stick with Ambler High? What's wrong with Ambler High? Why you got to switch shit up?
Because we got a creek, Max. We got a creek.
We got a creek. Oh, is that why?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the Wissahickon Creek, something Native American.
Oh, that's cornball.
That might be why we were the Trojans.
The Trojans. Come on.
Trojans.
Man, shit just stuck with Amber High. Named after condoms. That's fucked up.
Were you were you
and
dating?
That's the same logo too.
It is. It's the Trojan. Yeah, were you dating in Wissahickon?
Yeah, I was I dated Katrina Thompson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I dated her. Actually, that was it, really. Yeah, she was the only one I really dated there. I didn't really. Yeah, she was the only one I dated from Wissahickon.
Okay.
Other than that, after her, it was just, I was freelancing. Then I just got fucking buck wild. You know what I mean? I was going there. As soon as I started driving, shit, I'm out.
I was gonna ask what were like the things that you would do. I didn't date, and one of the things that I had, one of the like holdups, anxiety, I guess. I didn't know where to take a girl. I had no idea like how to ask a girl to like go to blank because I didn't know what blank was. Where do I take it? I worked at Wawa. I made $6.15 an hour. Like not even, I made $6 an hour. Like where do I take you for a date? What do you do? Like it was way more in my head. Not the Fort Washington one, the one right by the school. On the one right by the school on Bethlehem Pike.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I used to stay going in there.
Yeah, I worked there forever. I worked there all through high school and a little bit of college at that store. So like, I just didn't know I didn't know what a girl wanted to do. And I thought if I asked her to go to, I would go to Friendlies, and if I asked a girl to do that, that would be whack. So where are you like, what are you doing with girls
at that time?
Yeah, keep it clean. But what are you doing with girls? Is it just that you're hanging out? Are you just hanging out at each other's houses? It's not as big a deal as I was making it. You are going out?
Only if the parents are comfortable. If the parents were comfortable, yeah. But
right.
Other than that, nah, you ain't really hanging out. Nah. But I would say, yeah, one of the main attractions was the mall, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the main one. Like, yo, you want to go to the mall? Because, as females, they always want to fucking shop all the damn time anyway. You know what I mean? Always got to shop. Like, why you always got to buy stuff? You know what I mean? But, I mean, the mall, then, like I said, that's an open area because you got the food court.
Right.
You know what I mean? Plenty of options to choose from. They don't want to eat there. There's plenty of shits on the outside of the mall. You know what I mean? Wherever you're from, when you're leaving the mall, there's a whole bunch of everywhere. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, you can ask what they want, but you already know what's going to happen.
I don't.
I don't know. Well, how about this? Well, how about that? Well, what do you want? Because other than that, I'm just going to pull in somewhere and you're going to be stuck. That's how I would. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be like, well, then I'm just going to go ahead and choose, and you're just going to have to take it on the chin if you don't like it.
I'm just going to make note here. I'm just writing these really great tips down, Max. Max, I don't think these will work in modern day at all. These are terrible tips for dating. I got to be honest. These are terrible tips for dating women in modern times.
These are perfect tips.
When you got to Wissahickon, did your attitude change then? Did you start giving a fuck a little bit more? Did Ambler help make things a little bit more positive for you? Or were you still sitting in your, you're playing football, so you can't sit in your room every day.
I was playing football, but
were you still not fucking with the family like that? Still staying in the house?
The fucking mentality. Not as much, because then I started driving. Then that really put me on ease. You know what I mean? I'm way out and about doing my thing and shit.
You're in Wissahickon now. It's 11th grade, 12th grade. you had looked at football as something that could be there for you, but now you're in this program that doesn't really win games. It's not known like North Penn is known. In your head, then, what are you thinking is a possibility? What did you want to do at that point? Were you still in the get money phase of?
Oh yeah, always.
Were you still thinking marketing?
Marketing, more on the business tip. More like a business tip or something.
Were you looking at college? Were you looking at a job? Were you looking at anything? Was anyone helping you, like guidance counselor, saying, hey, senior year, here's what what do you want to do? Let's look at these schools. You play football, you could send like Tom Beal talked about playing and sending down, sending tapes down and the process of Tom Beal. And that was one of his things. He really wanted to play football, and he was a little bit like, I don't want to say disappointed, but a little bit disappointed the school that Wissahickon was what it was as far as a record. But he still, that was like a goal for him. He wanted to do those things. So for you, I mean, no one was taking you and saying, hey, here's what you need to do. You can do this. No one helped you cultivate that dream, huh?
No, it wasn't. I didn't really see much help in that field. It was more of, I'm just going to make of it. You know what I mean? I'll play football just to play football now. Like I said, moving from North Penn, it kind of just put me in a little slump to where it was just like, whatever. I'll play football. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll play just to play. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, but then at the same time, when I did play, I never got off the field. You know what I mean? So it was just like, all right, you letting everybody else get off the field, man. Like, can I get a break? I'm tired. Shit. I'm on from kickoff to the end of the fucking clock. From when the shit starts to it ends. Never step foot off the stop.
I guess that's what's like kind of surprising is like, coach comes out and recruits you, right? Asks you to come do it. You kind of have to be a little bit convinced. You're playing a lot, but then no one's saying like, hey, here's your next step. Here's how you know what I mean? Like no one's helping you in that way. They brought you in to help them to play football, but then no one's helping you like go further. I felt, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. And I think that was just period on how schools were at that time. You know what I mean? Like I kind of saw it as like, okay, let's use the athleticism of that kind to do what we got to do. You know what I mean? Because as far as I remember, North Penn's always had a black backfield prior, I guess, to maybe a buddy of mine I played football with. His brother was a quarterback and his other brother was a fullback. And they played with each other, you know what I mean? So it was just like, because then after them, like, my older brother, that kind of shit. And then this other guy that used to play for North Penn, you know what I mean? So it was just like, they constantly had this kind of backfield. You know what I mean? So,
was it like that? Was it like that for Wissahickon though?
What do you mean?
I just remember lots of white kids on the football team at Wissahickon. Was it it wasn't a black backfield for Wissahickon, was it?
No, because that was the question I always got asked at the end of the games. They were like, why are you a tight end? How come they ain't got you in the backfield? But you catch a little 5-yard pass and then you taking it 14, 15, 20-something yards running through people. So why do they don't have you in the backfield? And then I'll just point. Coach is right over there. You go ask him.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. That sounds like Varsity Blues.
Yo, that was after every game. Wow. I would hear, yo, number 30. Why you ain't in the backfield? And one time I think this one guy asked to be smart because I was talking to the coach. And he was just like, number 30, why ain't you in the backfield? And I tried not to listen to him. And then a little smirk came on my face. And then the coach had just turned and looked at him. And then he looked back, talking to me, finished talking to me. And I was just like, I forgot what I was going to say. I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, yeah. But being asked that question after every football game we had, that shit got annoying. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is.
Did you like any classes or teachers at Wissahickon? Anything that you thought you were good at? Math, English?
Man, what was that one class I had?
Lunch?
Nah. Cause I wasn't at lunch all day because I went to tech.
Oh, okay. You went to tech school. Cool. Well, let me ask you about tech school then. You know, I've talked to a few people about tech school, and it always kind of comes back to that same conversation that there was this stigma about tech school, that's where all the stupid kids went because they didn't want to stay in school full time. And so the dumb kids go to tech school and they learn how to like cut shit with wood or work on cars or, you know, do whatever type of manual labor shit that we were.
So they calling the auto mechanic stupid, even
Yes.
when they gotta take their car to that person, right?
You exactly, I mean? Because back then,
call that carpenter to come fix their crib or add an addition to their crib, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly, because we were told that college was the only way to go. You had to go to college. That's how you get a good job. And going into the field was not encouraged. And the stigma, was like all my friends went to tech school. All my friends were into construction, cars, carpentry, working with their hands. And I was, you know, got to go to college, going to do this college thing. And not until I got into like my mid to late 20s where you have to pay for things to get done, right? You just go, boy, I wish I knew how to fix my own brakes. I wish I knew how to fix my fuel pump.
Right.
I wish I knew how to, you know, how to replaster a wall. You know, just the simplest shit that I would love to not spend $600, $700 to get done. I wish I could just do it for myself. And those are the things that I've talked a bit about on the podcast. And even, you know, I've talked to Derek Cataldi, who was a year ahead of us, but is in the Carpenters Union, and Matt Lamastro. Yeah, he's in the union, and so is Matt Lamastro, but very different paths. Exactly. Like Derek's been able to be self-sufficient, making money, and living a happy life with his career. But it was definitely frowned upon to be that kid when we were 16, 17, to not say, oh, I want to go to college. I want to go right into work at 18 and learn and keep doing this. It was frowned upon. So I was curious, how did you get into tech school? How did you decide to do that? And what were you going for?
I went for horticulture.
Horticulture.
Yeah. I'm an outdoor person, and I like the landscape shit. So, you know, I just go ahead and I was trying to do it, I guess, because they came to our junior high school when I was over here still in North Penn. They came over when I want to say we were in 8th grade. Yeah, because they were trying to get us set and ready and everything. So, from there, and my mom was like, "Oh, we'll just wait a year," and I'm just like, "Why the fuck I gotta wait a year?" You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get into this shit. I want to do this shit because I didn't just look at the horticulture. I also looked at, you know, like the construction shit, you know, carpentry and all that. Because like I said, you know, growing up at our times, I know like certain people I was around, it was more of getting my hands on. So I have the knowledge of, you know, putting up walls and, you know, shit like that. You know what I mean? And construction and concrete, you know, shit like that. So I got the feel and I got my hands in that field. So I have the knowledge of that shit. Yeah. But when it comes to like landscaping and, you know, doing the design for somebody's backyard, that's me.
Oh, okay.
Like when you see that dude on what's that guy on TV? The guy that does the pool shit and all that.
I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, the treehouse shit, you know, could do that shit too. I wanted to do carpentry, but it didn't work out. It wasn't enough slots or something like that.
Okay.
So I wound up doing horticulture.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, I wouldn't say teacher's pet, but I guess being like the oldest in that class, and then knowing what I knew, and then how I was doing what I was doing, she just basically made me like, I guess if she ran somewhere,
You're like the
if she had to
foreman.
go off, then I gotta run. I gotta step in, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But other than that, nah. It was plus a buddy of mine. He was over in the culinary. So I had a couple buddies over there in the cooking part. I had a couple buddies in the baking. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, they got the good shit over there. Let's, you gotta knock on the door sometimes, let them open that shit up. Yo, what y'all got today, man? What y'all eat? Yeah, let me get some of that. Yeah. And, then I go back to my class. They're like, yo, where you get that from? What you want? How much you got? Because like I said, I'm dealing with most white kids in this class and shit, and they're coming from like Wissahickon and Perkiomen Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And I know these kids got money. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I know that area got money. So it's like, yeah, what you want? Yeah, $5. Damn, $5 for this? You got it? Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm.
So did you want to do something like that then coming out of high school? Did you think that could be a job?
Could. I tried.
Okay. So graduation's coming up, and especially because you're a year older, so you've got people around you that are going to college that or are graduating, right? People that you've grown up with that have already graduated at that point, probably that right from your Harleysville area. But senior year's happening now. You've got months left. What do you think's going to happen? School ends. What were you thinking was going to? For me, I was going to mosey my way into Monco. Right, I didn't really have a plan. I figured I was going to get into like video, film, TV. I didn't know what that meant. I knew I wanted to go to Temple because that was the only college I really knew. But I didn't really know how to do it. I knew I wasn't getting into Temple, so I figured, I guess I'm just going to end up going to Monco in September. What did you think you were going to be doing after school, after high school ended?
I didn't think I was going to be taking the damn route I did. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't think I was going to take the route I took. But I took my lumps on the chin, and I want to say I did make a stupid-ass decision. But then at the same time, I felt like I didn't. There was I went to a trade school right after I graduated.
Oh, okay.
I went to Williamson Free Trade School. It was over there, I guess, in like the Chichester area, something like that. Over in that Chester area, wherever.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm going to be in there for architect design for landscape. And my backup was construction. I didn't get neither. There wasn't enough slots. I wound up being in a paint shop.
Paint shop, okay.
Right. So I just took it at at that time we're still kids, so I made like a rational decision. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be in no fucking paint shop. You know what I mean? Like, if I couldn't get my backup, then why wouldn't you ask me if I wanted to do something else?
Right.
So you just put me into something.
Yeah.
And that was the least thing I wanted to do in the first place. So I packed my shit and rolled out. And it was a summer program. So we didn't start. It was just a summer program. And then on top of that, they were kind of military bound.
Oh, wow.
You had to have your bed made. It had to have that fold on the end, just like kind of like a hospital bed.
Yeah, yeah.
You had to clean shave, no hair.
Oh, no.
And if you had issues with shaving, I'm sure you might have, the ingrown hairs from time to time.
I use bevel now, so I'm okay. But yeah, back in the day, it was rough.
Yeah, man. Man, that's a whole nother podcast we can talk about. But yeah, it was clean shaved. And when I told them about that, I was like, I have issues to where, and they was like, oh, you need a doctor's note. I'm like, fuck, I have proof. You can see it on my face.
Yeah.
And we did the early morning thing, stand by the flag. We had to wear shirts, ties, slacks, shoes. I'm like, what the I was like, is this military or is this a fucking trade school?
Yeah.
They trying to put it as we're trying to turn you guys into gentlemen and shit. I was like, my mom already did that, man. Like, I don't need to do that. I need you to show me this trade, make me an expert in this shit so I can get out in this real world and handle my business.
Yeah.
That shit right there was a handful. But it was fun though. It was fun.
So then you leave after the summer, and where do you go? What do you do? Went back home.
Yep. Went back home. And my first job, a buddy of mine got a job. He got me a job where he was working at. And guess where I started working at?
Where?
In a paint area.
I was gonna say, where you at, Sherman-Williams?
In a fucking paint area. Yo, all day in the back, I'm yelling at the paint booth.
That's a lesson for you.
Yeah.
Max, that is a lesson.
That's a kick in the balls.
Well, maybe that's your
in the ass.
That's your future.
Mm-hmm.
Just like because then growing up, time to time, being somewhat forced into the church thing, then I started looking at it like, all right, that's a little spiritual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, then I looked at it like, well, damn, okay, I get it. You know what I
I'm
mean?
supposed
like,
to be a painter.
Right. But I just looked at it like, fuck, I'm going to be doing paint. But then it's just like, all right. Now I'm looking at all kinds of shit that's out there. That you can do. You know what I mean? Custom jobs for fucking, cars and shit.
Yeah. So what did you end up getting into then? What are you doing now? What are you working in?
Working at lumberyard right now.
Okay.
Been there for 5 years. They fucking suck.
Well, manual labor is tough.
It would be all right if they appreciate, but they don't. They show their appreciation by giving us lunch. And,
one of those places. Yeah.
A little bit of merchandise here and there.
Yeah.
These little coffee mugs. I was like, I don't drink coffee. So why are you giving this to me? Everybody drinks coffee. I don't drink coffee unless I'm really fucking tired.
So I think that is like kind of like, I feel like that is the idea of like what people assumed, a tech school thing would be, that when you go to tech school and you work manual labor, it's going to, it's going to suck like what you're talking about now. But what you're talking about is not being able to go into a specialty and kind of going into something more general. Right. If you could have, knowing what you know now, if you could have done it over, would you have stayed in the painting and try to figure out a way? Would you have done something? Do you think you would have done something different?
Oh, hell yeah.
You would have stuck. You think you would have stuck with that and figured it out?
I would have asked first. I would have looked at it like, all right, well, what's in it? What is paint shop? You know what I mean? Like, you trying to make me a painter? Like, Mozart kind of, well, not Mozart, but
learn where you're quitting first.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said, still being a kid at that age and shit, and have that mentality and thinking that, you're going to be doing what you're doing, and you wind up getting kicked twice. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I'm out of here.
Were you once that happened, were you completely done with school? The idea of school, were you just like, that's it, those guys screwed me, I'm not even trying this? Were you like, was there never a thought to actually try and go back to school, a different school, once you got out, once you left there?
It was, but then at the same time, I just fell into that work hustle, and I just went with it, going with it. And then, then they started doing these places doing this online shit. Then I thought about that, but then I'm like, I don't even like computers in the first place. So ain't no way I'm gonna be doing shit online.
Right?
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm a hands-on dude. I need that teacher in front of me.
You got to know your password to log in.
Right.
So becoming a father. Were you married? I'm assuming you weren't married then. So,
No.
Well, did you want kids?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not gonna say all dudes, but some dudes just like they always want to have that son. You know what I mean? Have that boy because they want to see how they are, what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm looking at myself in a girl form.
Yeah.
But she's just like me. She's quiet until she is comfortable enough with you. You know what I mean? That kind of shit, which is good. Because then she's analyzing just like I do. Because that's how I was when I came to Wissahickon. I'm like, let me scope this shit out. See where I'm able to go at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you take from your life that you ran out so many different things that I think, are interesting now that you're a father, growing up with a single mom, losing your dad at such a young age, what you just talked about as far as like, having plans for school, leaving school when things didn't go your way. Do you pull any of these things? Your daughter's 13 now. She's coming up right now on high school. So for you, are these things that are there things that you're able to pull from your life to, help your daughter?
Oh, I'm on her about school.
Yeah.
And making right. Yeah, I don't play that shit. Yep, because that's the main question I ask. How's school going? How's them grades?
Mm-hmm.
Are you having trouble? And if you are you having trouble asking for help? Because don't ever be scared to ask for help. Because I told her straight up, I was like, look, Daddy asks for help all the time. You know what I mean? Like I said, especially when I moved out of North Penn, and putting me prior to like these classes that were way different than the shit that I had before. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know none of this shit. Hey,
yeah.
Man, you help me out on this? Yeah. Hey, can you help me? Hey, girl, you know what you're doing on this shit. Like, how does break it down to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. One question, two questions I always like to ask people. During high school, during that 90, that late 90s era, favorite music, artist, song, album, anything like that? And so for anyone that doesn't follow you, Max, on Facebook, you're a great follow because literally every single day on your lunch break, you got your phone out and you're jamming out to usually like an old school 90s song. So, and that's right up my alley. Like I said, like I started this, I saw you were listening to Soul for Real, and I was listening to Soul. We listen to so many similar things. So
love it.
So for you, high school, what was what were you listening to?
Basically everything old school. You know what I mean? Biggie, the Nas, Mobb Deep.
Well, that wasn't old school then.
Well, I mean,
that was current.
Well, yeah, current then, yeah. But I basically what I still listen to now, what I listened to back then.
You were just on Power 99.
Yeah. 103.9, you know what I mean? The switch ups to 179, now back to 139. Like, look, man,
100.3.
Right. Like, make up your mind, man. One or the other.
Did you have a favorite of all those?
I mean, there was plenty, man.
For me, Eminem was probably my favorite, but I had a little bit of time where like Biggie was my guy.
Okay. My favorite lyricist, hands down, is Nas.
Nas, okay. Movie during high school. Favorite movie?
Armageddon was my shit. Armageddon was a hell of a movie.
Yeah, that was a movement. last thing I always like to do, Max, is I like to go through the yearbook real quick, and I like to look at the stats.
Yo, I don't even know where the hell my book is at, man.
I'll show you here.
Look at that son of a bitch right there.
Still looks like you. That's how you look, right?
Put a motherfucking beard on his face. Look at that guy.
And it's funny because it makes sense. You've got it spelled out right here. Football, 11th and 12th grade. So that makes sense that it was 11th grade. And then a real quick, mad love to my mom's, my dad, RIP.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, real simple. You weren't enticed to put 20 different initials.
Yeah, I ain't want to get all that. I'm playing Jay, man. I go to work, I come home, watch the news, and smoke some of my shit every now and then, and depending on what kind of day I might have a beer too, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's what's cool about this is just finding out, where people shake out, what they're doing, how they're getting along, if they're getting along, and that's like, that's what I get from this is that like. You got these things that you recognize that you took different turns. You recognize when you were in your own slumps. You know what I mean? You see things that were your own fault. But you're still doing it. You're grinding. You got a daughter, and you know what I mean? You're still standing tall.
Still standing, man.
Yeah, man.
Still swinging and kicking. You know what I mean?
Listen, you can't hit one out if you don't keep swinging.
Hey. It's when you stop swinging is when the devil got you. That's how I look at it.
I'm trying to think of one more swing analogy. I'm glad we got this worked out.
Yeah, man. It was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, man. Be safe.
All right, you too.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.